So before we get started, I just want to say welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have done open houses before, but there's been a lot of questions in the last few weeks in particular related not just to vibration machines, but light therapies and massage tools, and many things that I combine with vibration plates. So there's 3 different sessions today. If you're not completely aware, I'll just quickly recap. For about the next hour, we are going to be talking about light therapies. I'm going to give you some time for questions at the end of my spiel. If we run out of time at the end, I may answer questions later on once I get the recorded versions up. And yes, there will be recorded versions. So if you are unable to stay for the entire session today or unable to make all of them, there will be a recording up by tomorrow by the time I get it edited and processed. So the first session today that we are talking about is massage and massage tools. There's lots of different reasons you want to massage. Yes, I made very bright notes today. Massage is kind of a general term, and I think it means different things to everyone. Many of my groups that are dealing with medical conditions may be doing different types of massage to manage symptoms, alleviate pain and swelling, chronic conditions. Some of you might be using massage as a warm-up or as a recovery. So there's lots of different things that when I say to you, do you like a massage? To you, that might be, you know, laying on a massage table and having a masseuse work her way with you. For those of you, maybe you've got personal space issues and you don't like to go see masseuses and chiropractors and things like that. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots of different massage tools available on the market. With any of the tools we're talking about today in the sessions, I want you to keep one thing in mind. And the big thing is, what am I going to be using it for? I get a lot of questions, and part of what I'm hoping today will resolve is, what is the best tool for blah? Or what is the best tool for blah? And it really depends on, are you treating a chronic condition? Is it a small area, a large area? I wish there was one tool or one pill that did everything and solved every problem for everybody, but it's just not a reality. So a lot of the benefits about the tools we're talking about today are overlapping in some of the benefits. And outside of what you're going to be using the tool for, I want you to be very realistic today. Whatever I think might be the best tool for solving certain things may not be of interest to you, or may not appeal to you. Maybe you're dealing with poor mobility or grip strength issues. So when you're selecting a tool to use for your own self-care, there's different things that you've got to think about for you as an individual, and more importantly, are you going to use the darn thing? If you're not going to use it and it's just going to sit in the corner and collect dust, you didn't pick the right device. You know, I'm a great salesperson to myself as far as getting started and getting motivated, but sometimes sticking with it or being consistent isn't always my forte. I'm very into certain things, but I'm a little bit complacent on other things. So I want to make sure whatever you're considering for your own self-care today, out of any of the products that we're considering, maybe they're things that you have at home and you just need a little motivation. What you should be considering is something that you're going to use regularly, that you're comfortable using, something that appeals to you, and keep in mind what you're going to be using it for. And very often, you know what, that means that you might be using more than one thing. You might be using a multiple of things. Experimentation is key, and hopefully as your condition or issue that you're dealing with improves, you can do other things. So today's first session, we're talking about massage. I need coffee. Number one reason to me, and many of you, that you would want to consider using a massage device is muscle tension and soreness, aches and pains. Very, 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 very common as a recovery mechanism. You know, maybe after you've gone to the gym, you know, you've been training for an event. Massage is a great way to boost circulation, lymphatic movement. It'll increase flexibility. If you're doing some massage before sporting activities, it's not going to deplete or affect your strength, but it very well may reduce injury, warms up the joints, makes them more mobile. So there's lots of reasons to do some massage prior to activities. You may notice an increase in sensation. If you're dealing with things like neuropathy, numbness, or sensitivities, you may notice an increase in sensation or a decrease if you're hypersensitive. Swelling, things like that. All these symptoms can affect sensation, and just massaging certain areas to get that circulation and lymph going may restore and improve sensation. So that could, to a lot of people that may not mean anything, but if you're dealing with sensitivity issues, let's say in your feet, and you're dealing with really poor circulation, or you've got progressive neuropathy, it can affect your gait and your balance and make you more prone to falls. So sensation, sometimes it's maybe you've got Raynaud's or a sensitivity where you lack circulation in the hands. There's lots of different reasons that massage can get our systems moving and functioning more optimally. Massage is going to be great for things like chronic issues. If you are dealing with a chronic concern, aches, pains, swelling, I already mentioned it's good for healing, recovery, reducing injury. It can increase and build up your athletic performance. And as I said, we can reduce injury, and it's great as a pre-therapy to prepare your body for other things that you may be doing. So I talked about, thinking about what you're going to be using it for. I've got a bazillion different things. I couldn't set everything up today, but I tried to go get a few examples of some more common tools that we've been discussing in the group. And the first thing we're going to talk about is massage guns and rollers. Whoa, look at that. This is a large vibrating roller. This one also has a heat function, and this is a massage gun. Where would these be good tools for you to add to your routine? So if you are dealing with grip strength issues, if you have poor range of motion, sometimes tools like a massage gun or thumpers or some of the percussion massage tools, if you want to call them that, they're hard to use if you can't hang on to the darn thing. A lot of my ladies are gonna, it's really hard to massage the neck and the shoulders if you've got frozen shoulder and you can't bring your arm up past the range of your shoulder level. So when you start with a massage tool, especially if you're dealing with range of motion issues, lots of muscular tension, as range improves, you as the person administering the tool is going to become more effective, and you're going to be able to get into different areas as your range, flexibility, grip strength, those type of things improve. So let's start with the massage gun. This is probably one of the more popular topics and tools discussed in many of my groups. A massage gun, and again, there's never one tool that's perfect for everything. I'm going to give you a few tips of how best to get started with a massage gun, especially if you're dealing with chronic concerns. But a massage gun is the perfect anywhere tool. So you can take it with you. The majority of them out there have a lithium battery, so you can charge it up. They're going to have anywhere from 3 to 6 hours use, depending on the type of use that you're using with your gun. If you've got lots of areas that you need to spot treat throughout the day, maybe you've got carpal tunnel, you got shin splints that flare up, you've got muscular tension. A massage gun and there's lots of different sizes that you can use throughout the course of your day. Maybe take it to the office with you, you're traveling. It's a good universal tool to treat small or large areas. It's just going to take you a little longer to treat larger areas. So the crash course on using a massage gun, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, is using it at a mid speed to start. Like many of the technologies in life, we always say to ourselves, well, I'm just going to start slow. Slow means something different with a vibration machine and a vibration gun. We'll talk about vibration machines in the latter session today, but with a massage gun, the slow speeds, the gun is moving the slowest. It's got the slowest amount of movement. And depending on the amplitude of your gun, amplitude is the distance it moves each time the shaft of the gun makes a movement. Higher intensity guns are going to have higher amplitudes, more movement. Lower intensity is going to have less movement. So that's a number you may want to look at when you're comparing. I would say selecting a massage gun in the 9 to 11 millimeter range is going to be your average and probably more tolerable. Above 11, 12, 13, you get a little bit more intense, better for bigger bodies. But what I mean by starting conservatively, which is what I say, instead of you trying to push this, we think that we need to manually apply all this force to use a massage gun. And what you want to do, this one's got 5 different speed ranges. I brought the speed level up a little bit. And if you let the gun do the work, so let's say I was trying to treat an area on my body. I'm showing you my arm because it's easier to demonstrate. Instead of you trying to drill into your hand, which especially if you're dealing with a chronic issue and you're prone to bruising and things like that, just let the gun use a higher speed and just let it skim the surface, especially if you've got lots of sensitivities or if you're prone to bruising. I like to use I get lots of tension just above my knees. Okay, there's lots of different heads that come with these massage guns. Experiment. Some are better for the neck and smaller areas. Some of them are bigger for larger muscle areas. But I'm not applying a lot of force. And what I'm doing is I'm allowing the machine to just sort of skim the surface, or the gun to just skim the surface. If you apply too much pressure, not only is it hard to keep the gun stable, but it really isn't that terribly comfortable. You're taken away from the experience. For those of you that are dealing with spasticity, chronic tight spots, a massage gun is a really good way to not only treat the symptoms that you're dealing with, it's going to rush a bunch of circulation and lymph to the area, very easily alleviates pain and helps dissipate swelling. If swelling is a concern and it's pooling in one area and you're using your gun for swelling is usually a sign of poor lymph flow, damaged lymph areas, or even just blockages. And what you might find with massage, especially if you're moving heavy chunks of fluid, is it might dissipate and in one area, but start pulling in another. So if you have lymphatic issues and it's treating just the area is going to be effective, but you might need to treat other areas and move it up and help your body move it up throughout your system and dissipate. So a massage gun, it's funny. I've never had anyone ask me one time ever, how often can I use my massage gun? How long can I use it for? But when it comes to something that's like exercise, like a vibration machine or a bike, we have all these questions. With a massage gun, it's kind of the same answer as how often can you go for a massage? Usually your pocketbook comes into the equation, but if you own a gun at home, you can kind of use it really whenever you need throughout the course of the day to manage symptoms. Let your body decide, especially if you're dealing with chronic issues, when it needs a fix. So there's really no limitations. You can do anything too much. Of course, you can overdo anything. If you're black and blue and you're numb and you can't take the gun out of your hand because you've been hanging on to it for 4 hours, you can overdo anything in life. But I do find with a massage gun, there's a little bit more of a common sense approach. If you're not sure, you're a little bit hesitant, you've had a bad experience, it's usually related to starting with too slow of a speed and trying to apply too much pressure yourself. So again, with a massage gun or any physical massage tools, how much pressure you're applying personally is going to dictate how the experience feels. And I recommend, like I said, just use a mid to higher speed, get the gun going a little bit faster and let it do the work. Like I say, prep, recovery, I could go on and on. A lot of you know the reasons that you want a massage. For me, I'm a very, very busy person. I homeschool my kids. I don't make a lot of time for like going for massages and to the spa. I prefer treating myself at home when I need it. I need results right now, and I like that my guns can be used to treat things like my sciatic, or I get carpal tunnel in my hands. If you're dealing with grip strength issues, it can be very frustrating trying to care for yourself because your hands in a lot of ways are the tools. So the best thing I love about my seniors, especially that are dealing with grip strength, using a massage gun may be an impossibility when you start out, but just by hanging on to the gun for a few minutes a day, a couple times a day, if time allows, you're going just by hanging on and resisting the resonant vibration that the gun kicks out, your grip strength is going to improve. If you've got arthritis or swelling, joint pain, anything like that in the hands and wrist, just by hanging on to this, your hands will improve and get stronger. And very quickly, you'll notice not only can you hang on to it better, but for longer periods, and you'll be able to build and elaborate in how you use your massage gun. So don't be discouraged if you have grip strength issues. You know, a lot of people may not be aware. I'm sure there'll never be a study associated to this, but it's kind of logical. Just by hanging on to this thing, you're exercising, getting circulation and lymphatic movement into the hands. So feel free to consider that. If any of you are wondering, oh my goodness, I can't stay for the whole session, or I've got a friend that I'd like to see this, these sessions are being recorded, and I will post them after I get them processed, probably later on this evening or tomorrow. Moving on to another type of percussion massage. This is a vibrating roller. This one has different speeds. It's also got a wrap, a neoprene wrap that plugs in if you want to add heat to the use of this device. There's just a little USB connector at the one end. This is also, any of the tools I'm showing you today are available through Life Pro Fitness. And I love them for a number of different reasons, which I'll get into here a little bit more in detail with the giveaway. But this is a very popular item. If you have intermittent swelling in certain areas, again, if you have grip strength and you're unable to hang on to things, one of the things you want to think about is with massage tools is do I want to hang on to it and do the work, or do I want to just kind of set it and forget it? And the roller is milder than a massage gun. It's not going to be as intense, which for some of you is a better situation. This one's really good behind the backs of the knees. If you've got pulling, the low back, the shoulders, you can use this sitting on the couch or in your chair. You can put your feet on it on the ground. You know, it's a different approach to massage than the massage gun, but it's got a similar feeling in that the speeds, the frequencies that they generate are similar, but not as intense as a sensation as the massage gun. So if you're looking for something a little bit milder, a little bit hands-free, you know, you just want to use something while you're watching the TV and not necessarily be mechanically operating a device, a roller is a really, really good idea. I've got a couple of different examples. Sometimes bigger isn't always better. This is a smaller version. There's also balls. I love the peanut shaped ones for the back of my knee and my Achilles tendons. For those of you that know me, I got into this alternative stuff, oh gosh, 16, 17 years ago, seeking answers for my own health solutions and to lose some weight before I got into some knee surgery. So I do get swelling under the kneecap, on the sides of my knees, and I like wedging this one under my knee just as I'm sitting on the couch. Just the shape of it. Again, I talked earlier in the session about using tools that align with what you're trying to treat. So sometimes selecting a roller or a massage gun is going to depend on the area that you want to use. So if you've got chronic issues that you want to target on a regular basis, rollers are a nice way to, you know, just treat those areas while you're doing other things. A massage gun is going to be a little bit more of an intense sensation, but I showed you in the session how you can modify for your own level of comfort. And again, these are all lithium battery charged. They don't require to be plugged in. They have a decent battery life, so you can use them throughout the course of your day, take them with you. If you do a lot of sitting at the office, these are great tools just to get some circulation going in the feet, which is going to lead the way to my next idea. Another hands-free option that falls into massage. Let's talk about some more body specific stuff. Some of you own this. Okay. So now we're going to talk vibration guns and rollers are a little bit more of what I would call a mechanical stimulation. There's a motor moving the device to create vibration and pressure. This is compression. So compression air is pumped in through chambers and the device will expand and contract in a massage fashion. So very much like a kneading action on some of these devices. So this is called the Legra. This is a hand massager. You can see, you put your hand in one end. You can see my fingertips come out the other end. This, with my fingertips sticking out the end, you know, comes up to about just past the wrist is where you'll feel this one. There's different settings, different intensities. There's preset programs. There's also heat function for those of you that do like heat as an add-on. This is going to be your favorite kind of tool if you want to treat your hands regularly. So when you're looking at a massage tool and you want to treat a specific area, maybe we've got really bad arthritis or carpal tunnel going on, this is a great tool. It runs up to about 30 minutes typically on these types of devices. You may not need that long. A lot of times with devices, if you're looking at treating issues you've had for a long time, so if you've had stiff and swollen hands for a long time, you might find yourself using your massage devices a little more regularly just to kind of get things going and dissipate. And then you may find you need to use it less as things improve, less often, less time, as your situation improves. What I love about the Legra is once it's inflated and on your hand, you can literally walk around with it in the house. You can answer the door for the courier. I can scream at my kids and get them lunch. I have some carpal tunnel going in on my thumbs, my wrists. I don't have too much joint pain in the fingers themselves, but I really enjoy this. I use this probably 2 to 3 times a week, just sitting on the couch. You know, when I'm watching TV or reading with the kids, it's just a very easy operating, hands-free option if you deal with a lot of chronic pain. A lot of my knitters and sewers and quilters, for those of you that are out there, you know, where your hands are your tools, you'll appreciate this type of a device specifically to target that body area. So this is just an example of a body area specific tool that I wanted to show you. Okay. The next one is also air compression. My box got a little bumped up, but for those of you, these are what some of you call legs. I know Kim calls them that. These are air compression garments. These also have a lithium battery to charge. And there's a couple of different styles. These ones are a full leg, knee, and thigh. So it covers the feet, the calves, the knees, and the thighs. There's also just booty versions. So from kind of the knee down. And just like the word compression, similar to the Allegra, the air chambers are going to expand and contract. You can set these to adjust to comfort. There's Velcro attachments on them. So depending on the size of your leg, you know, how much intensity on the massage itself as the air compresses, you can adjust to comfort. And one of the greatest things I love about these, if you do deal with intermittent swelling or chronic swelling in the lower legs, sometimes it's because you're dealing with a medical condition, but sometimes it's just because you sit lots and it's just the nature of where your life takes you. These can be used in a vehicle if you are the passenger. So a lot of my clients have chronic issues and they're traveling long distances to go see specialists that are to give them more help. And sometimes you just pay for it in the travel of getting to these appointments, or maybe you spend a lot of time traveling. So these pack away, they come in a carrying case. The booty versions I like using in the car. I've driven across Canada a couple of times in my day, and not that I get tons of swelling, but it feels really nice, and there's nothing better than having a foot massage and leg massage really wherever and anytime you need. So these are a very popular, very commonly discussed item in my group is compression massage devices. Please don't confuse these with your compression garments that you wear for day to day. And if you do wear those, I recommend not wearing them while you're doing some of these massage treatments. The goal is to get the lymph and the circulation moving. So this is a great option, not terribly expensive. And again, these are available through Life Pro in both Canada and the US. Not everything I'm showing everywhere is available everywhere, but I am trying to show you things that are available in most countries. The next thing I want to show you is a little bit of a bigger box. Also a body specific tool. This is called the VibraCare. This is a foot massager tool. Again, for those of you that spend a lot of time seated at your desk or your couch or your kitchen table, the VibraCare is going to do a little bit better of a job. I wouldn't consider this portable, but it's not unportable. You could take it with you. But a lot of you want something to do while you're seated at your desk working. If you deal with chronic neuropathy, poor circulation issues, lymphatic vessel issues, diabetes, there's lots of different reasons that the feet and the legs can progress downhill. And a lot of it is just the sitting itself. It takes its toll on your body. So tools like this are perfect under your desk, especially if you have a regular workspace. A foot massager, you know, I could tell you so many people that no longer have neuropathy because they use their foot massager regularly. And, you know, the key with any of these therapies is consistent, regular use. You know, if you're seeing relief in your symptoms and things have improved, please don't stop using your devices. A lot of times, especially if you're dealing with chronic medical issues, you know, symptoms may dissipate, but it doesn't mean that you're out of the woods. Sometimes when we stop using our therapies or stop doing our activities, the symptoms return. So just because the massage tools you've selected and are using have maybe gotten your symptoms under control, doesn't mean that you should stop using them. You may just need to use them less often as a maintenance and a bit of a feel-good piece. I have a few more points I want to cover, and then I'm going to start opening up the floor for questions. Just to recap a few things. Massage can mean a few different things to different people. Today, I talked about self-care tools that you can use on your own at home to care for your chronic conditions. Maybe you're an athlete and you just want to give yourself a little bit of an edge. Use something for warm up and recovery. Perhaps you have a busy lifestyle and you just don't have the ability to physically go for some of the treatments that you should be or would like to be doing. Many of these tools can be effective, more effective for a couple of reasons. A, you have easier access to them, and B, it makes it more easy to speak to the consistency piece. So if you've got better access, these things are at home or you've got them at the office with you, you've got more possibility of using them more frequently. And consistent use is the key, especially with chronic conditions. I want you to, again, keep in mind what you are physically going to be using your massage device for. You know, maybe there's a couple of different things you'd like to, but when you're selecting tools, there's rarely one tool that is perfect for every application. So keep in mind what you're going to be using it for, and be realistic with yourself and what you know about yourself. What are you actually going to use? If it's something that doesn't appeal to you and you don't think you're going to stick with it, look at something that's going to, you know, incorporate better into your lifestyle and your disciplines. The key with any of these therapies, you know, you're buying them for a reason. You've got an issue that you need to deal with. Again, if you have weak hands, frozen shoulders, can't reach your toes, think about, do I want something that's hands-free versus something I need to hang on to? Massage guns, I want to stress again, those of you dealing with grip strength or hand issues, just hanging on to one is going to begin offering relief. But be creative. I've seen a lot of people put their foot massagers on the table to massage lymphatic or arthritic pain in the arms and the hands. So you're only limited by your imagination and your range of motion, I always say in these sessions. So we covered some foot massagers, we covered massage guns, rollers, balls, compression garments. Again, tips: less time, more often. Start with a mid speed on your devices, with less pressure. With your rollers, your massage tools, let them do the work. You don't need to be applying a lot of pressure. You may like pressure, but build up tolerance and see how it affects you if you are a new user. And just a reminder that you may notice you may experience an increase or a decrease in sensation if you're dealing with things like neuropathy, swelling. As things improve, you may notice, especially with neuropathy, sometimes it feels like pins and needles or an itchiness as that increase of circulation and lymph gets going. Sometimes it's pain. Neuropathy is an interesting one. Your body is cutting off the signals because it doesn't want to deal with it. It's painful. It's had enough. So sometimes when we start regaining nerve function and restoring the systems in those areas, sometimes it's tingly, sometimes it feels a little bit warm, but sometimes there is a little bit of pain as sensation improves, and that's a good thing. If you're dealing with lots of excess swelling, lots of pain after using your massage tools, reduce the time. Usually using it for too long because it just feels so good is common. But I'd prefer that you start conservatively, maybe 5-10 minutes on some of your hands-free things, 2 to 3 minutes on the massage guns and the rollers. You can always do more later. Too, there is not one company on the face of the earth that sells everything everywhere. I wish that there was. I recommend Life Pro, and they're supporting me today for a number of reasons. They've probably got the most versatile lineup of self-care tools, including vibration machines and guns and light therapies and everything we're talking about today. But more importantly, as a trainer that supports a lot of clinics and medical institutions, warranty. If you have an issue with any of Life Pro's devices, as long as you've registered your device, they have a lifetime warranty. So, I don't need to deal with problems. And with mechanical devices that plug into the wall or charge, sometimes things happen, but they are there to help support you after the purchase, not only on the warranty side, but they provide training. Not every company out there selling devices provides guidance. I'm live every Monday, and there's other trainers with Life Pro available going over new products, different approaches to your workout, and I talk a lot in my Monday sessions about different chronic issues and ways you can use their tools for your self-care. Got some questions here. Good morning to everyone as well. I'm glad everyone's so excited to learn. Can massage gun be used on hardened fibrosis lymph on my lower leg? I'm so glad that you asked. Yes, and they can even be used on lymphomas. Lymphomas, and I'm saying it wrong because my lips are all chapped, are little hard lumps, benign little lumps that can be very painful with certain conditions. My Durkheim's disease folks, my lipedema ladies understand that terminology. But make sure, iPhone to everyone, that's the name that I have. It says, can massage gun be used on hardened lymph? Yes, but what I would suggest is a soft approach and use it more often in short sessions until you get things moving a little bit. So start, as I showed earlier, start with a mid speed range. And if we're talking about the legs, there's flat tool gun tips. There's all different ones, but just sort of let the machine skim, or the gun skim across the surface. Don't apply a lot of pressure. That's not going to be the best way to break it up, especially if you do have lymphedema, lipedema, you tend to bruise easily. So, you might need to prep and just very gently The lymph vessels are just below the skin surface. So, you know, you don't need to add a lot of pressure. For those of you that are doing manual lymphatic massage, you know what I'm talking about. Just very light pressure to stimulate those lymphatic vessels and get the blood flowing in that area. And if you've been dealing with this hardness, which, you know, it's hard because it's been there a long time. Sometimes lymph escapes the vessels and it pulls in body tissue and not only becomes unshapely, but very painful and uncomfortable. So a massage tool is a great way, the rollers as well, to target those areas specifically. But again, if you've got known blockages, you may need to treat not just the area where it's compromised, but elsewhere in the legs to help it move up. And the compression garments, the leg compression garments, are also a very ideal tool for managing, especially if it's in the lower legs. You can sit, lay down, whatever's more comfortable, and get a good whole leg treatment, whereas a massage gun is going to take a little bit longer to do the full leg. Again, you got to keep in mind what you're using these tools for, what areas you want to treat, your grip strength, those type of things. There's never one perfect tool for every application, but a massage gun is a very, very popular choice for breaking up fibrotic tissue. If you have lumps, for lymphomas, things like that, I recommend working a circle around. You know, let's say I've got a big lump here. You want to work around and warm up the area around the tissue, kind of like you're working a little cinnamon roll, and then, you know, come in on the lump itself. Some of you, it may be too painful to touch starting out, but work around the area of the lymphoma, and you may find pain reducing. I've had so many people over the years tell me that they're breaking up, they've broken into smaller ones. Some of them have dissipated completely. It really is a personal tolerance thing, and you know, some of you progress sooner than others. It really depends on your body. If it's been there a really, really long time, especially with, you know, hardened tissue, be patient. You're not going to get a solution overnight. It's taken, you know, a long time, years in some cases, for these areas to develop to the stage that they're at. So be patient with your therapies and take a consistent approach. I promise you will see improvements. Who is next? Need to check out the hand one for carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel is a real common one. You know, we all are a slave to this thing nowadays. And not just our mouse, but our devices. You know, we play video games, you know, those little muscles in the hands and the wrists take the brunt of a lot of different things. See, just listening to me, you know, she's doing wrist turns. So, you know, if you find you're doing these kind of things lots throughout the course of the day, maybe you need to consider a massage. Where's the one I was talking about? The leg wrap. Okay. This one is great for arthritic hands, carpal tunnel. It's probably one of my faves because it's kind of hands-free. You set it and forget it. There's different programs. You're going to get your own feel for what you like, for your tolerance, your needs. This one, again, is specifically designed, obviously, for the hands, but I think you'll find it's a great tool, whether it's carpal tunnel, arthritis, or you just use your hands lots and they're you know, tired. A lot of my massage therapists, you know, your hands are your tools. Devices like this will help you treat more clients throughout the course of the day. You too need those hands to recover and improve, so that you can treat more clients for longer, not time frames, but, you know, continue your craft longer into your life. Is it graduated compression? Okay, graduated compression, you are referring to garments that you wear. I'm going to get through the questions here, and then I'll see if anyone has questions they want to ask me. But compression garments, there's going to be different grades of pressure depending on your needs. A lot of those are by prescription, so they are not graduated, but you can change how tightly they fit based on your size and your tolerance. So there's Velcro closures on the air compressions, and on this you can decide, you know, how intense you want the air compression based on the setting that you use. So you can tailor any of these based on your own level of comfort and tolerance. I hope that answers your question, Cindy. How does it compare to the Flexi Touch or Lympha Press? you know what? Obviously, it's not the same thing, and I get that question a lot. But you know what the biggest difference is? Thousands and thousands of dollars. I am so done with people not being able to get prescriptions for the tools that they need. And in a lot of cases, even getting a diagnosis to get prescriptions for the devices you need. A lot of you that have spent years of your life seeking a diagnosis doesn't necessarily mean that your care is going to improve because of it. So no, it is not the same medical grade quality that the LymphaPress or the FlexiTouch is. But if you're going to wait 10, 15 years for a diagnosis and then hopefully have a medical plan that covers these things, I would sooner people start living their lives better and with less pain now. So a lot of these therapies are consumer grade. There's lots of different ones on Amazon to choose from. Why I recommend LifePro, again, there's people behind the company, the training and support, and the lifetime warranty. If you're using these devices every day and they're like your Advil, you know, the more you can turn to less invasive alternative therapies and off the pills and off the surgeries, the better. And what I found with these compression massage tools early on is it was an affordable entry level tool that quite honestly offers just as good results as many of the commercial devices. And I'll get into that with vibration machines as well in the later session today. But no, it is not a LymphaPress. It is not a FlexiTouch, but you know, can you really wait for relief? That's the big drawback sometimes with some of those. I have relationships with many of those companies as well. But when I talked about being realistic earlier on in the session, if you can't afford to get the tools, it's never going to help you. So, you know, and a lot of these medical plans that some of you are dealing with, the deductible is more than half of these, all of these therapies combined for in some cases. So, you know, for a couple few $100s on the leggings, some of them are under $100 for the smaller versions. It's certainly worth a try. What I do recommend with any of these therapies, if you're considering them, I mentioned warranty earlier. Most companies have a money back guarantee nowadays. So if you're not sure about something and you want to try it out, we don't necessarily live in a world these days where you can go try every therapy at trade shows or at clinics. So if there's something that you're thinking might work for you, don't hesitate. Get the darn thing, try it out, but make sure you try it out. You've got 30 days with any of LifePro's products. Don't leave it in the box till the 29th day and go, oh, Debbie, I returned it because it didn't work. You didn't try, you didn't apply. I got to say that. So if you've got some of these therapies now and they're sitting in the closet, you bought them for a reason. If it's something that you've been considering, whether it's the hand massager or a gun, as I said, order them, try them out. You've got a 30-day money back guarantee with most products and companies out there, LifePro for sure, and give it an honest chance. Give it a try for a few weeks. You know, you're either going to end up loving it so much that you're never going to return it because you're seeing improvement. And if it's just not for you, at least you know and you gave it a try and maybe you need to switch gears. Sometimes self-care is about experimentation. I wish I could make the perfect recommendation for every person and condition out there right off the bat, but I don't know all of you that intimately. So sometimes we need to try different things to see what works best for your needs and your tolerance. Does the foot massager work similar to the vibration plate at the office? Yes, similarly in that it gets you some action into the lower extremities. A vibration plate's going to be a little bit different because you can do weight-bearing activities. You can stand on it. But if you're looking at a vibration plate just as something to use under your desk, just for massage, just to get circulation and lymph going, there's a number of different foot massagers that might be a little bit more ergonomically suitable for your situation, or it might be a good complement. Maybe you've got a vibration machine at home and you're at work 9 hours a day and you just want something throughout the course of the day. So a foot massager is a good complement to a vibration plate. They can be used for similar benefits like circulation, lymph, and relaxation, but a vibration plate is going to give you also the ability to do weight-bearing exercises. So sort of depends. To me, the foot massager is a little bit more specific use. I for years have used like an ergonomic foot stand under my desk. So I like using a foot massager. I've got one set similar to the one I showed you set up under my desk. My vibration machine, I prefer standing things. I don't love using it under a desk. I've got really long legs. So I find for me, I'm going downhill too much in my desk chair. That's just, again, a preference. Me personally, but I have a lot of people that use both foot massagers and vibration machines under your desk. Again, it's one of those things when you're selecting a tool, be realistic. If you do plan or hope to progress to other things, then you might want to consider a vibration plate. But if you know you're just using it under your desk, specific purpose, I think you'd be happier in the long run with a foot massager. How many chambers are there in the leg compression? Depends on the model. So different models are obviously going to have different areas of different chambers. Where did I put the darn things? Oh, right here. I will give you an example. I think these ones, okay, so for the full legs, they're going to have chambers in the feet. They're going to have, I think there's 2 different chambers in the calves. There's a different chamber in the knees and then the thighs. Some of these models have no knees and some of them are just booties. So depending on, you know, which style you're going with, you might want to look a little bit closer at the product details. And there's also extenders with these. So for those of you that are dealing with larger legs due to issues or weight, and won't fit into the standard fitting, there's extenders for the Velcro so you can extend them to a wider width. I know that's going to be another question. They can be used, you can see on the box here, there's just some additional neoprene extenders, and you can use those anywhere to make them wider in the Velcro attachments. I hope that answers your question. So the number of chambers is going to vary depending on the device that you're looking at. Massage guns, are they just for soft tissue or muscle or round joints too? If round joints, how harsh are they? That's a very good question. Normally, nothing is normal with me. Normally, no, I don't recommend using a massage gun on areas where you might be whacking your bones. But that being said, I do use my massage gun in the soft, squishy areas of my knee and my elbows. I have 2 areas that drive me absolutely bonkers. When I get my knee pain or my swelling, it's right under the kneecap. So I will use my massage gun. And you know what? Sometimes I hit my kneecap and sometimes I bruise it, but I have very high tolerance and I want to get the swelling dissipated. I will also kneel on the massage roller or a vibration plate with a roller to get in there. What I use it for on my elbow, I get chronic inflammation in this right here, and I know there's a big bone there, but yeah, I'll use it on that area. Just make sure that you've got good control. If you're hitting the bone, it's not necessarily harmful, but it's really not terribly comfortable. But I do use it for joint relief. It's a great way to rush circulation and lymph to the area, relax tight muscles. The more you use your gun, the more you'll kind of learn what tip and what speed is best for different areas. Smaller body parts are going to have a different sensation or feeling from the gun than if you're using it on the butt or the thighs. And that's also going to determine what type of head you're using. So if you're going to massage something in a smaller area or a joint where you're getting close to bones, I wouldn't use one of the hard plastic tips. And again, it depends on what gun you select. There's going to be a variety of tips to choose from. So experimentation again is key, but yes, I see that all the time, just as an FYI. Around joints. Fran, depending on the joint, you might enjoy compressions, you might find a vibration plate. There's going to be other things that offer relief, but a massage gun is a good universal tool. And because it's so portable, it is a good thing to use on the go. So if that chronic inflammation hits you throughout the course of the day, a massage gun might be a consideration just because it's convenient and portable. What else? Who else have I got here? How long do you use the leg chamber? Hello, Veronica. It really depends. They've got some preset times. I've got people that go as long as a half an hour. For me, I'm usually about the 10 to 15-minute mark. I like to just get a little bit of circulation. If you're dealing with things like heart issues, fatigue, one of the really nice things about the compression massagers for the legs is its ability to help boost and move that circulation uphill. If you are dealing with heart issues, you have been told by your doctor to ensure that you have good leg, especially calf strength. The calf muscles are smaller than the thigh muscles. And you know they're doing all this work returning all this blood and lymph uphill. So the compressions are a really good way to help expedite and move fluids up, especially again if you spend a lot of time sitting. And it really, do people use it for longer than that? Yes. I don't like to put parameters. I mean, understand manufacturers have to offer suggestions, but you're never going to get the right answer to please every single consumer out there. So make sure with your compressions, start minimally. Like when you're starting something and when you progress and your body gets used to it is always different. So I would suggest, you know, 10 to 15 minutes starting out if you're dealing with a chronic issue. See how you feel, and you can always do more sessions later. You know, can you over massage? I suppose. If you're jello and black and blue the next day, you've probably overdone it a little bit. But I don't really get questions like that from people where, oh no, I overdid it with my leg compressions and now my legs are numb. Common sense applies. I would say on average, probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on you, a couple, 3 times a week. For more chronic issues, when you're starting out, you might want to use less time, but use it more frequently until your symptoms get a little bit more under control. How long should you use the under desk vibrating plate while sitting? Okay, this is where we get into vibration plate questions, and I'm going to ask you to keep that a little bit separate for later, because there's no exact time answer, but I do have precautions using a vibration plate. It really depends if you're using it for exercise or feel good and self-care. So in this case where you're putting it under a desk, I would love to say that you can use your machine all day long, but you know, I can't. It really depends on you. I've got people that use it 3-4 hours a day. I'll admit it. But you can overdo anything. So it really depends on you. I would suggest, you know, 30 minutes max a day is what most manufacturers recommend. You want to prolong the life of your equipment. Yeah, you're going to wear it out if you're using it every single day. And if you phone in and try to get your machine exchanged on warranty, and you've been using it 14 hours a day, that would probably be above and beyond what is the recommended usage. But you know, sometimes a couple hours a day is not uncommon. You know, you're on a phone call with Debbie and she talks forever, and holy crap, I've been using my machine for an hour. So there's you can't overdo it. If you've overdone it, you're going to feel lethargic. You might notice an increase in swelling, those types of things. But it's very, very rare that you can overdo it just from a passive standpoint. So use your best judgment on that one. I hate to put a definitive number on it. Cheryl is asking, is it okay to use compression hose if you are using vibration for fibrotic tissue? Compression garments, or do you mean compression massage garments? So if we're talking about what I showed today, where there's air compression chambers and they're massaging your bodies, I wouldn't use something on top of that, and I wouldn't wear your compression garment clothing under them. I would give your body a chance to get things moving. Different discussion when we get to vibration plates. But I would take off your compression stockings before you're looking at using any of the devices. Sometimes your compressions are just a total pain in the butt to get on and off. So I do have some clients that use their compression with their compression garments. It's really something you're going to have to try and experiment for yourself. Maybe it's a combination, but ideally, especially if it's later in the day and you're winding down, I'd prefer to see you take those compression garments off if you're looking at doing compression massage, and just let those legs be free and get things moving in a relaxed fashion. What else? I hope that answers your question, Cheryl. Nancy, I feel lumps under the skin. I'm assuming this will help. Nancy, if you have lumps under the skin and you haven't had them checked out, you may want to from a common sense perspective. But lumps under the skin, and often hundreds of them, are not uncommon in my fat disorders group. Many of you are looking at me going, yeah, I know what she's talking about. But many of you are not diagnosed. Derkham's disease, it's a rare disease. I know it when I see it walking through the door, but I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose, I can't treat. But one of the common things with Derkham's and lipedema and lymphedema is you get these hard lumps of fat that develop under your skin surface. They can be in the weirdest places, like butt cheeks and elbows, on the head. They can present anywhere in the body, and they can be debilitatingly painful, and they can just be a pain in the butt. Surgery is really the only choice of treatment out there. Many of you that have undergone surgery, back me up, no guarantee they're not going to regrow. So you go through all of this, you have them surgically removed, and sometimes they come back even bigger. So part of the reason I started beating these things up with massage guns is, yeah, you might be a little sore and you might be a little bruised, but if it's not surgery and it's reducing the size or the severity or breaking these things up, I think it's worth a shot, but it's really going to boil down to your own personal tolerance. So again, be gentle, work around the lumps first, prep the area. If the lumps are there, they've probably been there for some time. If you've lost a lot of weight recently, sometimes you had these lumps all the time and didn't realize you had them until you lost some weight. That's common as well. And again, we're talking about benign lumps of fat under the skin surface that are common with a lot of the conditions I work with. And yes, anything from compressions to rollers and massage guns, you've got to manage how you've got to manage. And again, it's not a drug or surgery. So I certainly think it's worth exploring. Best approach for muscle scar tissue. Depends on where it is and how it's debilitating you. Best thing for muscle scar tissue is to get active in your recovery as soon as possible. Scar tissue develops usually in the 4 to 6 week mark, post-injury, post-surgery. So the sooner you adhere and get on the recovery, the less tissue is going to develop. I see a lot of people using vibration plates and guns right after surgery. Part of the reason you want to use devices before surgery is A, you've got experience using them, you know how they feel, and B, you're going to be a lot less fearful if you've got some experience. So if you're looking at using any of these tools as a post-recovery situation, don't wait till after the surgery. Get them now. Start feeling better. Get prepped for the surgery. Learn your tolerances, and you can use them through surgery to expedite recovery, mitigate the development of scar tissue. If it's old stuff we're talking about, been there a long time, yes, massage guns, rollers, anything you can do to work and soften that tissue area, hopefully dissipate some of that scar tissue. I've seen it. It varies for everybody in how your body's going to react to these tools, but I absolutely have seen it numerous times, not only where scar tissue is dissipated to a degree, but with the increase in flexibility, better circulation and lymph, it all equates to a better situation wherever that scar tissue area is. I hope that answers, Pamela. Veronica, can you use leg compression and vibration on the same day? Is it too much? I don't know. Can you have burgers and a fry on the same day? Sometimes you shouldn't. Sometimes it's not a big deal at all. It's very much one of those things, again, you'll have to experiment with. Absolutely, you can use compression and vibration in the same day. Can you go for a run and a jog in the same day? They're both similar activities, but different in their intensities. So vibration plate, depending on what you're doing on it, is it just feel good stuff? Is it exercise? I'll get into that a little bit more in that session. But as far as compression, I've got some people that are using these things every hour. I mean, if the pain is that severe and the swelling is that bad, you got to do what you got to do. It's kind of hard to overdo these therapies, but as I said, if you are overdoing it, you're going to feel lethargic. You might notice an increase in swelling short term. same thing that over exercise or over, going to a masseuse too often may present. Make sure you give yourself adequate recovery time if you're doing lots of intensive treatment or lots of exercise, and common sense stuff. Keep yourself hydrated, make sure you're getting adequate rest. All of those things are going to contribute. But yes, I've got a lot of people that have a little routine. So, they'll start with their vibration plate, then they'll move on to their massage gun and their light therapy, and then their compressions, and not necessarily in that order. So, experimentation is key. And as I said early in the session, there's not always one perfect tool for every situation that you're trying to treat. So I do talk a lot about combining therapies, using them at the same time to reduce time and increase effectiveness. But for the same reason, yes, you can use multiple therapies throughout the course of the day. You got to experiment though and see what's going to work best for you. What I do recommend is not starting a whole bunch of everything all at once. If you're going to start a new therapy, stick with it for a little while. If you have a setback or you have some really tremendous results and you've done 50 different things, it makes it hard for me to help you identify, well, it was the compressions, or maybe it was the massage gun, or, oh, it could have been the vibration plate. Maybe it was the light therapy panel. If you start a whole bunch of things at once and have some success, it's going to be hard to identify necessarily what it was and how to progress. So if you are starting a new therapy, start just one therapy, stick with it for at least a week and get a feel for it and how your body reacts to it before you incorporate other things. That's just my 2 cents. Veronica says, I have lipedema. Hang on, I had a message pop up. Gotten worse since menopause. Everything gets worse since menopause, I'll tell you that. Is it best to stand on the machine or put your legs on the vibration machine for pain and cellulite? Veronica, I'm going to ask you to again, anything related that is not related to just massage. I've got a big session later this afternoon on vibration plates, and there is no best. There is no best for anyone, because if you were all exactly the same, I could have one answer that suits everybody. So it really, really depends. If standing on the machine is going to give you different benefits than laying. I'll just say very quickly, yes, of course, a vibration machine can be used for massage as well. But because it also has the ability to offer weight-bearing activity, I'm going to get into more detail in the vibration machine session, but not everybody has the ability to get down on the ground and physically apply their body to a vibration plate. So if range of motion allows, go for it. One is not better. They perform separate functions. I want to see you standing on your vibration plates because I don't want you just getting symptom relief. I want you keeping your bones strong. I want you guys getting stronger or staying strong. And weight-bearing exercises are the easiest passive way to do that. Whereas just lying the legs on the machine are going to be great for massaging, targeting that area specifically, but you're not going to get the benefits of weight-bearing exercise. So I would love to see you do both. But if you're asking me, just for massage, which is better, you're going to have to try both. They both have a massage effect, and see which, whether standing or getting down on the ground works better for you, Veronica. And I will get into more detail in the vibration machine session. There. Okay, so I just dropped what's called my link to my link tree, and in there you're going to see all my shopping links, where to find certain things on Amazon or with Life Pro directly. If you're shopping direct in the States, I usually recommend dealing with them direct if you have an option. I know that many of you are Prime users and you're faithful to that, but if you ever do have a problem with anything you buy, I prefer talking to the company than to Amazon. That's just my 2 cents. So if you do have an issue, you're in a warranty situation, you lost a power plug, I prefer dealing with the people at Life Pro through the live chat or over the phone directly than the Amazon folks, because there's that filter. So if you did purchase through Amazon, that's who you need to deal with when you have issues. So I prefer dealing with them directly simply for that reason. But you can find links to Amazon in both Canada, the US, and the UK. I don't believe the compressions are available in the UK yet. For those of you that are going to ask me, well, why aren't all the products available in Canada and the US that are in the UK? I'm going to deflect that one big time and tell you to ask your government. Because quite honestly, it simply boils down to what products they dictate are allowed into your country for your care, and they are by far bigger fans of pharmaceuticals. So I'm going to leave it at that. I know there's a number of red light products, some of the compression products that in the UK and Canada are not available, and it simply has to do with legislation and the government having to oversee and make everything a medical device and make it so expensive that no one can afford it. So sometimes in Canada, you can order direct through the Life Pro website. You're going to be paying extra shipping, but at least you can get the darn gear. What I will do after the live, and I get these recorded versions posted, I will put appropriate links in the comments when I get the recordings up if you guys want to look back after the fact and do some comparing. Your head is probably spinning from all of my ramblings as we speak. Okay, Dina, I see you. Denise, great info. Susan, Pamela. Okay, I think I have everyone. If I have missed you or you're just joining now, I am going to sign off. I need about 10 minutes to get the next session set up. I'm scheduled to go here at 1/2 the hour. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to everyone for this portion of the session. I will be returning to give you a lecture on light therapies in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned. The appropriate link for the next session will be dropped in the event. Obviously, all of you keeners found it. I want to thank you all for joining me. Susan O'Hara, please enter me. Hi, Susan from Legs Like Mine. Yes, I'm glad that you've got your name in there. And there's 2 more chances with later sessions today. Next session, light therapy, coming up here in about 15 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I look forward to seeing you all here again very soon.